summaries and box plot. Just like everything, where should you be looking for all of your information? Formula sheet. First thing we're talking about is a 5-number summary. That is the last bullet on chapter 3 for your formula sheet. So you don't have to memorize any of this, it's all given to you. Your 5-number summary is made up of things that we have already found. The minimum, what do you think minimum means? The lowest number. Q1, median, Q3, we know what those are, right? Our quartiles, and our maximum number. All right, that makes a 5-number summary. So, for instance, if I gave you this one, every 6 months, the United States Federal Reserve Board conducts a survey of credit card plans in the U.S. The following data are the interest rates charged by 10 credit card issuers randomly selected for July 2005. Find the 5-number summary. Okay, we could do it by hand, but we have a calculator, why not? Okay, so let's enter everything in our L1. And then we do our 5-number, the 1 variable statistics. In the 5-number summary, you don't have to label which is which. I mean, you can, but you can just write them in order. So our 5 numbers, it says we have our min, Q1, median, Q3, and max. So we just need to list those 5 numbers. So our lowest number. Okay, does our calculator come back and tell us the lowest? Yeah. If you scroll down far enough, it does tell you your min is 6.5. We could also get that from the list. And then look, conveniently for us, it's the 5 things in a row in our calculator. Q1 is 12. Median, 13.6. Q3, and the max, 14.5. If we wanted to do these by hand, all we would have to do is put our points in order, small to large. That would give us a min and max. Remember, the median is the middle. Quartile 1 is the median of the bottom half. Quartile 3, median of the upper half. Do I need to show how to get that by hand if you want to? So, there's my 5-number summary. Now, that is used to draw what is called a box plot. For our box plot, we do need to know our upper and lower fits. Okay. Then we will create a box going from quartile 1 to quartile 3, and we draw a line inside the box to mark the median. So if I wanted to do this, and I think that's what example 2 says, draw a box plot for this one. Right, I'm going to kind of do it as we read through these. Read through these directions. All right, we do need some kind of scale here. My lowest was 6.5 and my highest was 14. I mean, we could start this one at 0 if we wanted. You don't have to. So if you started higher, that's fine. Yeah, I think 14.5 is our highest. So it said we draw the box from quartile 1 to quartile 3. What was quartile 1? 12. So that's where my box begins. And what was quartile 3? 14. So 14.4 is where it would end. That's my box. And we do a vertical line in the middle to mark the median, which was 13.6. Is everyone okay with me for that part? to draw whiskers, but we have to know the upper and lower fence for that so we know outliers. Because outliers are treated a little bit differently. So remember, for the upper and lower fence, we do need the IQR, which on our formula sheet is Q3 minus Q1. What was quartile 3? Minus what's quartile 1? So our IQR, 1.4. So, lower fence, remember, is Q1, which is 12, minus 1.5 times the IQR, which was 2.4. That gives me 8.4. Upper fence is quartile 3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. And that gives me 18. Do we have any outliers in our set? Anything smaller than 8.4 or bigger than 18? Yes. Okay. We draw whiskers to the lowest value, not lower than the lowest fence. Okay, my minimum value was 6.5, but we have said that one was an outlier. So what is my next lowest? 9.9. Is that one an outlier? No. So that's going to be where I draw my line down to. So starting here, I would go down to 9.9. So it's going down to my minimum, but we're not using the 6.5 because it was an outlier. And then we go up to our maximum. Our maximum was 14.5. That's not an outlier, so we draw it there. Okay. Then we mark our outliers with an asterisk. We can't just ignore that there was a 6.5, so I'm going to go to 6.5 and put an asterisk there. That shows me I had an outlier at that point. If you have multiple outliers, you put an asterisk for every one of them. That is a box and whisker plot.
What was the asterisk for?
The outlier, the 6.5. Okay, so it's our 5-number summary, and that just translates into our box. The minimum, Q1, median, Q3, max. With the exception of outliers get taken out and marked with an asterisk. Okay? So 5-number summary turns into the box and whisker. Now, are we going to spend a tremendous amount of time creating these? No. It's more that I want you to be able to look at it and tell some information. Okay, could we give something about the shape of our data from this? If this is kind of like the middle, is this bell-shaped, skewed left, or skewed right? Skewed left. We have this tail going on to the left. Okay. If it's bell-shaped, your median should be in the middle of the box because we know if it's bell-shaped, the mean and median are the same. If we have a whisker going really far one direction, that tells us it's skewed. We can tell outliers really easily by looking at this. I can look at it and say, oh, there was an outlier of 6.5 in that data. So we can get a lot of information by looking at this. All right, any questions there? Yes?
Why was the line on the right shorter than that?
Because it only goes up to the maximum value. Remember in our 5-number summary, quartile 3 ended at 14.4 and our max was just 14.5. I'm going to look at another example. So, the red blood cell mass of rats was determined after they returned from space and compared to a control group. Does it appear that space flight affected the rat's blood cell mass? Okay, so we're trying to look at this data and see if there's a difference. What we are going to do is compare these two using our calculator. Alright, so what I want you to do is put the flight group in L1 and the control group in L2. So, we are going to go into second y equals to get into our stat plot. This is where we went when we were getting our histogram before. So we need to turn the first plot on. Okay, and I know it's a little bit different on your calculators.
Wait, how'd you do that? Yes, this. Second.
What's wrong?
And I couldn't figure out how to get on it. She said press like enter.
So second stat plot. Okay, and then you have your 3 things in the list, or you have 2 rows of options on yours. Okay.
There's 2 box plots.
Okay, you want to pick the first box plot looking thing with the dots. The dots are showing that it will mark your outliers. The second one won't include the outliers. It'll just draw your line down to the bottom one. So we want the first one. And notice it has my X list as L1. So this is going to show me what the first one looks like. Okay? If we go to zoom number 9, it will zoom to, oops, I have something entered in my calculator still. I didn't actually select it, did I? I think I just highlighted it. Okay. Zoom 9. Okay, so it should look like this. It would be really helpful if we could see both at the same time since we're trying to compare it, and we can. If you go back to your second y equals, we can go down and turn plot 2 on. So go into plot 2, turn it on. I'm going to select the same type, and notice it already knew that I wanted this to be L2, but make sure your X list says L2.
How do you get it
To
to
be
do
like
L2?
right L2.
Mine's on.
If it's not on L2, highlight it, and if you push second number 2, it'll change
This is
to
a lot
L2.
of calculators.
Then zoom 9.
Yep.
You said it doesn't say L2, but what?
Second, and then the number 2.
What's it doing?
Do I need to put like yes, yes?
One's low.
Why did you get what? Why do you have a Z? I don't know.
This is supposed to be L2, so second L2. I think you hit alpha.
Why do I only have one?
Did you not turn it on?
I thought I did.
Oh, no, your calculator's frozen.
So when do we get like tape?
Like, I don't even know if I need it.
You guys figured out we get it.
I'm pumped.
Oh, what is this line right
We
here?
need ice cream.
There's some specific ones.
Dude, is it like
My calculator froze up too.
is it free for anybody to go?
Wow,
to?
how, what did the knights do?
Just
Hey,
yeah.
where's
Oh,
your
it's
braces?
just 2.
Oh, actually, I got
That's
it.
cool.
Who all has groups?
How'd you do that?
Did you make
Tonight.
ice cream?
Turn it off and turn it on.
Can I try?
Alright,
What?
so we can see both at once here, which is helpful if you want to compare 2 sets of data. So what can we conclude from this? Is there a difference? Yeah. I would say there is. They are not exactly the same. So remember, the top one was our flight group. You don't have to. The bottom one was the control group. So if I'm trying to make some comparisons, what happened to the flight group? How does, okay. So the flight group had lower blood cell mass. Okay, it was also, you know, if you want to talk about shape, it is more skewed. We can see those tails are longer. So it's definitely more spread out. It had some really low ones, some high ones, but our median was lower, and the box itself is all shifted down. So we can make some conclusions there. All right, let's compare or let's read some box plots. And I apologize, I know this isn't the best graph. So I want to identify the shape of this distribution. What would you call that?
Skew right.
Okay. 5-number summary. You don't have to label what they are because we put them in order. What's our low point?
0.
What's our quartile 1? I think 1. What would you call quartile 3?
6.
3 maybe? Or sorry, I said quartile 3, but I meant our median. Quartile 3, 6, our maximum 16-ish.
Oh, I thought I was looking at the
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't in here whenever she explained that. Yeah. I get
So
it.
we can get our 5 numbers from this and have a little information about our data as well. All right, let's do one more. I want to look at 2. This is called a side-by-side box plot. That's what we just drew. 2 side-by-side. What is the median of X? So if I'm looking at group X, sorry, that is hard to read, but
40.
40. Because the median we know is the center.
Third quartile.
The third quartile of Y. Where is the third
55.
quartile?
55.
I'd say
Like
53.
53. We want to be precise here. Which variable has more dispersion? What does dispersion mean? More spread out. Which one is more spread out?
Y.
Y for sure.
X is.
Describe the shape.
X
So-
is that.
Bell shape, I agree with that. We see this is about, the median was the middle of the box, the whiskers are about the same. How about Y?
Skew right.
Gosh, this is easy.
Don't jinx yourself.
All right, any questions there?
No.
Okay, so do we want to do